Thanks for joining us for Nights with TVT, our second episode. We're happy you joined us. Tonight we have 3 guests. This is Dakota McClellan, who is the assistant director. This is Alex Duffy, who is the director, and this is Beth Howe
Christensen,
who is in the play. First of all,
Madam Arcadi.
We'll get there. Just okay.
Go on, kid. Get out here.
Okay.
Alex or Dakota, would either one of you like to tell us about the play?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex, Mr. Director.
Okay, so the play follows Charles and Ruth Condamine. Charles is a writer who is suffering from an ailment that is very well known to all writers, and that is a massive case of writer's block. He is familiar with seances and the quote-unquote supernatural, as he'd call it. So he has this idea to invite a certain medium, Madame Arcadi, to their house to have a seance. He's hoping to get ideas for a story he's cooking up. However, during that seance, he gets a lot more than he bargained for. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right, well,
A
Alex,
lot more.
would you like to introduce yourself a little bit more than my name's Alex Duffy?
Sure. Well, my name's Alex Duffy. As
all
we've
you
covered
get.
that. This is the first theater that I've ever actually done any plays at. Started with the musical comedy Murders of 1940. That one was a really fun play, and I fell in love with it immediately. I've done some shows in Athens and some in Loudoun, and I've also worked here and there with the Scopes Trial in Dayton. So that's who I am.
For some reason, I thought that 12 Angry Jurors was your first play.
No, that was my second play.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How has the experience been directing your second play here at the theater?
It's been very different from the first one.
Okay.
It's I don't know. There's a lot this time around that I feel like we've been able to do better. Because don't raise your eyebrows, Dakota. You agree with me. You say yes. Amazing
I'm just
job.
listening to you. I'm taking it all in.
I'm enjoying it immensely. We've got a wonderful cast, and I feel like everybody has been casted quite well and better than I even initially thought. As everybody is moving into their roles, everybody's just really fleshing it out wonderfully. We've got 3 new people who are completely new to TVT. I think it's not completely new. I believe you said that you've done some shows here before.
I was in Steel Magnolias here in 2016.
Right.
Was the first time I've been in this theater.
Right. So this is Beth's reprisal here in Tennessee Valley Theater, but we also have Alan Snow and Bess True, and this is actually Bess's very first theater production. She's a very sort of I'm looking for experienced ballet dancer. She's done a lot of professional work in Oregon and Mississippi.
That's awesome.
So she's excited and was a little nervous, I think, but she's really enjoying it a lot.
That's
So
good. What's your favorite part about directing versus acting?
Well, so when you're acting, or at least when I'm acting, I see other people doing roles, and I think, oh, that's great. I love what they're doing there. Ooh, I would love if I could do that role too, and do this, and I would love to do this, and things like that. And in directing, you kind of get to act every role in a way, because you get to direct everybody.
I never thought about that.
To live through the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You get to put your ideas, mix them up with whoever is in that role, and you get to have a little bit of yourself in every role, and that's really fun. Plus, you get to yell at people.
It's always fun. That's my favorite part about
That's all
directing.
he yells is hold.
Do you plan to direct in the future?
Absolutely.
Would you rather direct or do theater, or be on the stage? Shush. Shush.
I don't think I can answer that question. I love both so much. I love acting and I love directing.
Okay, well, what would be your dream play to direct? You're welcome.
Something, I mean, so this play and the first play that I directed are kind of very similar. They were both early 20th century, kind of countryside
What
English.
other play did you direct?
Murder Room?
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Which was really fun. But they're both set in the same kind of situation here. I mean, they're both country homes in England, and they're both just really bizarre and fun. I don't know. I love comedies. I'm always partial to comedies. And I'm generally partial to accents just because I think that's fun, and it just adds another layer of difficulty that I enjoy as an actor and I really enjoy seeing as a director. So that's really hard to say. But I'll say this, I always am wanting to direct Murder Room again because, and I want the same with this too, just because you go through it and you're like, oh my gosh, they came out so wonderfully. But I could do this the next time, and I could do this next time.
Yeah.
So
You'll get that chance with this one. Remember, when you do it again, you might be able to tweak it some more.
That's true.
In October.
What would be your just the role that you would die to play?
okay, so when I played Oscar Wilde, I loved
Which you were
playing
very
Oscar.
good at.
Thank you. That was so much fun. And then I played Charles Dickens not terribly long after that, and it spawned this aspiration to me inside of me that has me wanting to play different writers. So I would love if I could play oh shoot, I can't think of his name.
Mark Twain.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
wow.
That's everybody's favorite
I know.
usually, and the
I would love
gentleman
to
who
get to
usually
play
does
Chaucer.
it
There
just
you
passed.
go.
Yeah.
So there's all these different
Just said
writers.
Chaucer.
Yeah. You can tell the farmer's tent, the story.
Oh my gosh.
No,
All right, so I have a question that I'm going to ask all three of you. What do you think brings people to the theater the most? Alex, you first, and then we'll go down the line.
Oh, crap.
Well, I think I'll say proximity, but I don't mean that, oh, well, that's close, so why don't we go there? But there's nowhere there's not another theater that's closer than right in the middle of town that puts on shows where people just really love to act. So I think it's the fact that it's a part of the community, you know?
Except when you don't know that your community has a theater. And,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway,
That's the point of this, though.
hopefully that's the point of this.
Well, I think it always has been for me as an audience member and as an actor, is the give and take with the audience and the actors. A live performance is like nothing else.
Yeah.
You can watch great films all day long, but I've been involved with the Nutcracker in Roane County for 23 years.
I knew you looked familiar.
And I played Clara's mother for 23 years. And I never thought I'd be in a ballet because I wasn't a dancer, but a good friend of mine started a company there after she retired from dancing for her children. And she asked me, I was an actress, to play the mother. And I was thrilled. And I never thought I'd be in a ballet. Gorgeous, beautiful. And she just does a great job. She orders backdrops from Las Vegas and all these things. But anyway, when we do the children's show, and they bring them in those buses, and that auditorium is full, and the curtain comes up, and they clap for the scenery.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, these children, this may be the one and only live production they will ever see.
Yeah.
And some of their friends are in it, and the costuming and the lights, and there's just something about it there's a give and take. And it takes people away, just like when you go to the movies, it takes you away from your daily life. You're there and you're seeing something and it's entertaining you.
It's easier to get caught up in live theater though.
Oh yes,
It takes you
absolutely.
on an adventure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You never know what's going to happen.
What do you think?
Well, for me, because I've mostly been on the stage my whole life. This is like the second show I've ever directed, once in college. But for me, it's the experience going and just using, like, in this show, a lot of times you have to use your imagination. So using my imagination, going to shows and just getting like caught up in it, like a fairy tale world. So
So Dakota.
yes.
Oh, go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going to say it's sort of like making the intangible tangible.
Yes.
You know.
Your turn to introduce yourself.
myself. Well, I'm Dakota McClellan. This is my first time directing at TVT. I've mostly been on stage for the past 11 years here at TVT. Can't remember how many shows I've been in here. So I have. I can't think now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Don't you hate that
I
question?
do hate that
Okay,
question.
here, we'll go on to the second question. Okay, have you enjoyed assistant directing?
Yes, I have actually. It's not like telling people what to do or anything because I really don't tell people what to do. Mostly what I'm doing is he asks me something and we discuss it and that's about it. Most
Let
times.
you yell at people.
Oh
What's
no,
wrong
I
with you?
threaten. No, I threatened to hit people with a chair. So there's that. So I mean, I've enjoyed it. It's not a new experience, but there's nothing else to say about that. I guess it's just been.
So do you like directing over acting?
I'm the same way as Alex. I don't prefer one over the other. For me,
Y'all are crazy. I love directing.
I mean,
Because you know what? You don't have to
I mean, yeah.
memorize lines.
well, yeah, but
You just get to tell people what to do.
I enjoy that
And
thrill
yell at
being
them
on
when
the
they don't
stage.
do
I
it.
enjoy that thrill being on the stage.
Yeah,
So,
I understand. I
like,
understand.
There's more of the worry, not worry, there's more of you have to concern yourself with stage problems
Oh yeah.
as an actor. You know, you have to make
People
sure that you're
quitting.
learning your line,
Yeah.
projecting, being loud, all this stuff. And as a director, you don't have to worry about that. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. But you also have to worry about the logistics.
So you have other
Yeah.
things to worry about that
Yeah.
are bigger and better than
You know,
that,
keeping
so-
everybody in the loop and making sure that the show has what it needs and taking care of your actors.
and
in
having
general.
3 different schedules.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Well, and community theater is a very big challenge because
Oh, yeah.
you usually have zero budget, or most of the ones I've been involved with. I mean, you pretty much beg and borrow things from people like,
Yes.
do you happen to have a coat that looks like it was from 1964, you know,
Yeah.
that we could borrow?
So would you take on the role as lead director for a show?
Maybe one day I would.
Of course.
So, I mean, eventually, yes.
Okay.
I think you.
But I'm never stepping away fully from acting.
No, I mean
I would
nobody
never.
wants you to do that.
I would never.
What's your dream show to direct
I've never actually thought of that.
or act in?
I'll act more. I mean, for me, dream role. I mean, there's a lot of shows that I've already played in that I've wanted to play in, that I've played the role. And so one was the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee when I did it at Bryan College, and I had seen the show before, and I played the vice principal, and that was obviously one of the only roles I could see myself playing because the other characters sing, and I really don't sing, and that character didn't.
It's funny because you're put in singing roles all
Yes,
the time.
I am put in singing roles all the time. Carousel. I was put in a lead singing role, and I did not want that part, and I was made to do it. So, yeah, but that was I had seen the show, and because that was the only part I really felt like I could play, and I got the part. I didn't even audition for that show,
That's good.
and they cast me, and it was a lot of fun. We only had 2 weeks to prepare for the show.
Oh,
We had 2 weeks to open. We found out the cast list before we left for Christmas break. We got our scripts, and we had to come back, memorize everything, get the set together, and learn all the music, everything.
So, what's your favorite show been here?
The Games of Fud.
I'm so glad you said that. That was a fun one.
And not because I got caught to April because of her hair.
Oh my gosh, that was awful. Beth, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Beth Howe Christensen. I'm originally from Sweetwater, but I've lived several places since then. I was privileged to work in the oldest theater in the state of Florida, Stetson University's Stover Theater, which unfortunately has been torn down now, but lovely place. It was a lovely place to train. And I worked there, and I worked around dinner theaters in Florida, in Knoxville. Some of you that are my age or older may remember the old Knoxville Dinner Theater that's out where Watt Road is. When there wasn't a Watt Road exit, there was a theater there, believe it or not. Had a lot of fun over the years. I did a lot of children's theaters and traveled to schools, so that was a lot of fun as well. But
I've done those. Oof.
Yeah.
And you play
Madame Arcotti.
Can you tell us about your character?
Well, she's a bit of a split personality, I do believe. She's a rather nice and kindly, gentle, middle to older age lady. We won't say exactly what age, but anyway, she takes her work very seriously to a point, and she really wants to help, but she does go off into trances, which can be a little interesting.
She's cuckoo.
That's cuckoo to you, boy. Cuckoo.
Have you put any aspects of yourself into this character?
He doesn't even know me. He's shaking his head. His mother knows me. Well, I think that's unavoidable, pretty much. I mean, but as he has already said, doing an accent really helps. I like being able to do the British accent. When I did Steel Magnolias, I did the real deep Southern accent. And I'm sure somebody from Louisiana would have a lot of critical points about that. And I know because I had a theater coach in Florida that was British. She cracked every time we tried to do a British accent. Of course, we put her in her place by asking her to please give us her American accent. And she said, oh, duh, I couldn't possibly. So she never bothered us after that.
Do you have a favorite line in the script that you say?
There should be many of those.
Oh, my heavens.
There
She
should be
has
many of them. You say some.
a lot of good lines. Let's see. Good night, silly bird.
And let's
That's
say
not vague at all.
she's not spitting. She's blowing up. That's the bird
A
call.
duck.
Oh.
Duck
The-
call.
oh,
Yes.
okay.
So
That
my
one scares
duck
the
call.
crap out of me.
Was a kazoo.
Whatever.
Do you have a dream role?
Oh gosh, well there are many, but I have been fortunate enough to play 3 of my dream roles. One of them was Adelaide in Guys and Dolls. One of them was the lead role in the Greek drama Electra, believe it or not, which was like 90-something minutes of me on stage the entire time, of course with ensemble actors, but Greek drama is not exactly the thing that, most people would be interested in doing. I mean, people think Shakespeare, and you were in a Greek drama, and I'm like,
My first ever show I did at Bryan College was we did Oedipus.
Did you? Oh. Yes. But
First show ever I
that
did at
was,
Bryan
yes.
College. Oh.
But my biggest and most exciting was a dear director friend of mine called me. He was working at Run State, and he said, I've always wanted to do the story, The Belle of Amherst, which is about Emily Dickinson, our poet in the United States, who was, of course, not recognized in her lifetime, pretty much. And there's a play of just her on stage talking about her life. She goes into her childhood and becomes like a little child, and she talks to her father and all these people. And he said, but I didn't think I had an actress around here who could do it. So after he asked me, I felt like I pretty much had to do it, and I totally enjoyed it. It was another one of those like Electra where you were on stage the whole time, but this was even worse because there were no other actors there, which kind of was a plus and a minus, because if I did forget something, I mean, like I'm talking to the furniture and the cat that's not there and people aren't there. So the audience is really not going to know that. But I was terrified that these little old ladies in the front row, whose favorite poet is Emily Dickinson, when I would go into one of her poems, that I would mess up one of the lines. I said, please, please, do not let me mess up one of the poems. Anything else, we can, And the director's up in the booth looking at me like, she's already gone past 2 pages and we don't even know what to, and then I'd go back to that. And
wow.
The
That
first
happens
performance,
all
I
the
was
time.
so scared
Yes.
that I was just like, my hands were like ice. But it turned out to be a great show, and I learned a lot about Emily Dickinson.
Do you think you'll do more plays here at the theater?
Oh yes, I live closer now to this theater,
that's
so
good.
yeah.
Good.
And I thoroughly enjoyed Steel Magnolias. I've done that twice, and it is just, it couldn't be more well written.
And who did you play in Steel Magnolias?
Clary, the former mayor's
Oh
wife.
my gosh! The first time we did it here, I played a nail.
Oh, did you?
Mhm.
Oh my,
I was
that was
a
good.
male.
Yeah, well, they're all good parts. There's no, I mean, it's all great.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for being in our podcast and on our YouTube channel, and for answering all my many questions. The play that they are talking about is Blithe Spirit. We have yet to say the name of that
Yes.
play. And opening night is August the 21st at 7:30. Additional shows are August the 22nd at 2:30 or
Yes,
2 o'clock.
2:30. It's gonna be unless it's on the website. Is 2:30?
We're gonna say 2:30.
So,
August the
time.
28th at 7:30 and August the 29th at 2:30. And we want to announce that there are auditions for Dracula that will be Monday and Tuesday, August 23rd and 24th, from 6:30 to 8:30. I'm not 100% sure who's gonna direct it, but Dakota's gonna help. Yay! We want to remind you that we do have an email address. It's tvtpodcast@yahoo.com. Our phone number is 423-365-PLAY, which is 423-365-7529. I had to write it down because I didn't know it last time. We have a Facebook, which is Tennessee Valley Theater, THEATRE. We have an Instagram at the same name, and we have a website.
Instagram.
We do.
Wow.
We have a website.
That.
That's www.TennesseeValleyTheater.com.
Wow.
It's THEATRE.
Theater.
Theater.
The correct theater.
Yeah.
For performance theater.
That is all. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next week.
I doubt